Kevin.
And I'm Andy.
And this is all we know about Star Wars Battlefront.
Gameplay.
Gameplay. We're focusing specifically here on the gameplay. So as you guys can see, what we've got open here, jumping straight into it, we're looking at the soldier's HUD. Right, so it's heads-up display.
It's pretty solid.
So you've got various different points about this. I'm going to go through these as I remember them. So on the bottom right here, you've got these card kind of things. If you guys watched the previous video on the beta, star cards are something that's being brought into the companion app.
Yep.
This is, if you look, they look very much like cards. You guys can see this on the bottom right hand side of your screen. I'm wondering whether you unlock these through the companion app. That's what I'm thinking.
It's possible. I'm not so sure. I think that you unlock them through gameplay. I think that they're abilities and you can mix and match them as you unlock them.
Yeah, maybe. But I honestly do think that's what the cards are. They don't really look.
But you think they unlock for a card game? I think you unlock them through gameplay.
Possibly, when you get the cards. If you look, so the way it works is, I thought it would be D-pad logically, but there's a picture that you see where it tells you that they're, obviously because it's done for the PlayStation, it's from obviously left to right, L1, then it's triangle, and then it's R1. Look at me trying to remember the PlayStation 4 controls.
Something like that.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, I've done it with PlayStation 4, so that translates obviously to Xbox as the same things that you got there. That's quite cool. There's also a space at the bottom, no idea what number that's going to be, but I think you see it when you're watching the gameplay. He throws a grenade around an objective and it brings up a bubble shield around it.
Yeah.
So the thing explodes it.
You can also have a bubble shield that follows your person, as in, so it's your suit. I've seen that on the survival mode, which we'll talk about more later. But your person essentially has a shield that is around them, and when you run, it's with you.
That's cool.
So it's like a moving bubble shield.
You can also do orbital drop.
Yeah,
orbital strike.
Yep.
They shoot a barrage down from the sky.
As we can see from the picture here, there's the grenade in the icon, which, as you suggested, and I think you're right, is that you have your regular grenades, and then you can have a special kind of grenade as one of these weapons. We see in this picture here, in the gameplay, about 10 seconds afterwards, the person playing this throws that grenade, and it causes the most graphically impressive and devastating explosion ever.
Yeah, I've got to say about this game, the explosions are brilliant. We talked about this earlier on, the only other games that we really like the explosions and the fire in engine, obviously, out cutscene, is probably Far Cry.
Far Cry's got really good fire engine.
Yeah, exactly, how it spreads and everything like that. Obviously, you don't really get much spreading of fire in Hoth. No. I don't think they'll have a spreading of fire mechanic, but just how the fire looks itself is pretty cool. There's a scene when you're in the snowspeeder, it blows up out the side.
That's very cool.
The guy in front of you blows up, which we are determined that it's friendly fire. It absolutely looks like he shot his own mate who's blown up.
Well, it's the Frostbite Engine 3, and when DICE employed I don't know if it was Frostbite 3 or Frostbite 2, they put it into Battlefield 4, but when they put that into it, you can see a lot of things, like, for example, you're saying about the Hoth fighter crashing. When jets crashed, even though it's quite free and it's a player playing it, you would see it coming past you, whisping past, one's tail's on fire, and it was really something cool to see. Really mastered the explosions there, so I'm glad they put it into this game.
The other thing you see on the HUD there is you see an objective. It says offline there, and you've got the other one that's filling up round. This is to do, we'll talk about this more on game type, but it's the objective of uplinking the signal to the Y-bombers.
Yeah.
To basically bomb the walkers. We'll cover that more in a bit. But I imagine they're quite dynamic, so they change from game type to game type. You've also got there, along the bottom, in the middle of the screen, you've got the health bar of your player with an actual number of it out of 100. Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, I think
it heals itself as well, which I've noticed.
You got regen.
Yeah, well, I saw that in the survival. I'm guessing that's the case on the multiplayer as well, which basically you take damage and then if you recover, it goes back up to 100.
Whereas if you go to Battlefield, I like that. There's the same Battlefront. Yeah, it doesn't regenerate sun, does it, in Battlefield?
No, but then again, the issue with Battlefront was that you had a very
Battlefield.
Battlefield.
Where are we? Hold on.
I'm saying Battlefront.
I'm talking about Battlefield. Does your health regen in Battlefield?
In Battlefield, yes, slightly.
Slightly? Same sort of speed as it?
It's better. No, it's quicker in this. It's better to have a med pack in Battlefield.
Yeah.
So Battlefield, it regens slower and it takes a little bit of time. After a little bit of time, it regens quick, but it's better to have a health pack. Whereas in this, it might just be the survival mode. Don't know that for sure, but it went up fairly quickly, back up again.
What I was going to say is it's a lot of people are worried that it's going to be Battlefield with a Star Wars skin.
I'm very excited about that. I like the idea of that. I feel that Battlefield has done, not necessarily mastered, but they've done very well in the field of online first-person shooters, and they're definitely surpassing Call of Duty in my mind. And I feel that if they apply that to Star Wars Battlefront, which to be fair, if you look at Battlefront 2, there's a lot of similarities. All they're really doing is giving it the edge of the Frostbite engine and the game mechanics of Battlefield. I have no issue with that whatsoever. I'm looking forward to it.
I want it to be its own game.
It is going to be its own game.
But I don't want it to be Battlefront. This is going to be fucking confusing. Battlefield with a Star Wars skin on it.
I don't
I
think
mean,
it will be.
don't get me wrong. Yeah, it better be different. I think I loved Battlefront 2.
No,
I want them to make their. I think they will. I want them to make their own thing out of this that's very different from that as well.
what they've done is they've got the body of Star Wars, everything we love about Star Wars, the weapons, the maps, the kit, the sounds, the characters, and what they've done then is the backbone of it is DICE and the Frostbite engine. And what that allows you to do is it brings in awesome gameplay that you see in Battlefield 4, what made it so addictive as a multiplayer game and how it's now a huge competitor to Call of Duty, because of the fact that you had... It's climbing.
And
I'm happy with that as well.
Stick to the faith.
And
it's a good game. It's not Call of Duty.
The idea that you will be shooting at the player while you've got a tank to your side and a helicopter over the top is something that works perfectly when put into the Star Wars atmosphere, because you'll be fighting on the ground against an ATAT, and flying above will be a Hoth fighter.
You say ATAT?
ATAT.
I say AT-AT.
AT-AT.
Well, that's what I say.
That's called an ATAT.
I only know from the boxes of the Lego.
AT-AT and then an AT-TT.
AT-ST.
SDI.
Wrong way. Is it AT-ST? That's what they call it in the demo. But did they say AT-TT?
AT-AT is the big fucker.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But either way, you'll have that moving of a land vehicle, people on the ground, and vehicles going over the top. Also, mounted defences. You can see the gun turret in the distance. All of that works in the same way that Battlefield does. I couldn't think of a better game.
I really loved on Battlefront 2.
Go on.
The Tauntauns that they had in Hoth. Did you ever go on them?
Which ones are the Tauntauns?
The Tauntauns are, you know, the movies when Luke Skywalker rides that thing and he.
Oh, yeah, there was one outside the Rebel base,
Yeah,
wasn't
there were
there?
like a couple, and I always used to love those. Don't get me wrong, you'd always fight for the Stone Speeder as well.
What was used to make me laugh is when I was playing with the AI, the game would start, you get a ton of blokes get on the hot fire, a load of blokes start running out and start shooting, and then you get one dippy fucker who would go and get on this little, like, literally what looks like a breed between a kangaroo and a llama.
Yeah.
And they just start hopping off innocently.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. It was fucking retarded though. You're like, what am I going to do with this thing? You know? I'll park it up.
Yep.
It's like a horse.
Park it up.
You know? So someone starts shooting at you, like, well, just get off.
Can you imagine the Empire soldiers turn up and you just, wait a minute, Daisy needs to be fed.
Watering the horses. It's all alright. Moving back onto topic. The other thing that's pretty cool is you've got enemy health bars. I know from...
Add that in Battlefield.
Alright. Sure. Moving on. From like playing other first-person shooters, you don't know if you're actually like doing any damage to an enemy a lot of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you don't know how much health they've got. Going into a fight knowing what health an enemy's got will definitely change the style of play.
Yeah.
I don't know in what sense. I mean, obviously it'll make you more cocky when you're going in certain things, like, you know, this guy's almost dead, or you see three guys and we've got a fuck all for health.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, fuck it. Doesn't matter if it's three guys. But what I would say is that people are going to be like, oh, it's unrealistic.
Yep.
Yeah, people always nitpick.
There's always something that people will find an issue with.
Yeah, it's true. Obviously, on the bottom left of the screen, you've got a minimap. Your objectives display on that as well. I've noticed as we go through. You can't really see it in the picture here.
That's showing enemies, I think.
Pardon?
That's showing
No,
enemies.
the red is an enemy, but you do actually get little white bits on there that show you.
Well, you can see it's a floating thing on your HUD there. So you've got the...
So you get floating objectives on your HUD.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys can see, like, there's one right in front of you, half red,
and then
on
to
the left side of the screen.
Yep.
But on the map, on the mini-map, they actually show up themselves.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
The other thing that's quite cool that I was looking at is the overheating bar for the gun.
Yep.
Is round the reticle.
Okay.
If you've noticed that, it's around the bottom of the reticle. You can kind of see it there. If you look at, you know, see the soldier is shooting at, if you look just at his like waistline, like right over his dick, there's like a small white line. It's not the grainy graphics of the shot, which I don't know why they're there. I think it's straight up of the video. It's the overheating bar which comes up around the gun, and I imagine obviously all the Star Wars weapons, none of the Star Wars weapons reloaded, did they? No, they didn't. You overheat them.
Did.
There were a couple. So like Jenga, not Jenga.
Jenga Fett.
It's not Jenga Fett.
Boba and Jenga Fett. Boba's his son. Jenga is the dad.
Jenga's the game. And Boba's the dad. Boba Fett's the dad.
Boba Fett is the son.
Boba Fett is not the son.
£10. Bet you £10.
I don't know. It's hard now.
Bet you £10. Boba Fett is.
Boba Fett is the one in the original in Star Wars 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
No, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, I think it's the other way around. We'll settle this. I don't. Alright, so I've made a lot of stupid bets recently. I don't know.
I've made a lot of money off this man.
I don't know. Oh, not like poker the other night.
No, you're right.
This cunt's ass. Jenga? Boba?
Do it. Bet me.
right, then this is getting out of hand now.
We'll let you know the result.
Yeah. I probably won't. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not confident enough.
Go on.
Unless I can secretly Google it while he's not looking. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. Luke's HUD, if you'd ever look at that in the Heroes thing, I'll get that up just while I talk about it. Just quickly move through my slides there. If you look at Luke's HUD, he's got his like force push there is on the left bumper of the thing. And then you've got 2 lightsaber moves there on Y and RB. I'm talking in Xbox terms, I'm sure you guys can like translate. I reckon that one of the lightsaber moves is a block. Probably the Y move. It would make more sense if it's the RB, wouldn't it? For block.
For block?
Yeah, RB would make more sense.
No, LB for block. I would say RB for attack.
LB is force push.
How do you know?
Because early on you see it in another slot, in another thing. You see like R1 above that. Well, I'm assuming that's...
RB for block? No, I wouldn't say. I'd say a bumper for block then. RB is going to be attack.
RB's a bumper.
I'm thinking right trigger, aren't I?
RB,
right
B stands for bumper.
Right, fair enough.
It's a lot of words are hard.
Yeah.
I reckon that must be a block. But I also think the other one might be a lightsaber throw.
Well, no, the one bent to an angle is clearly going to be on the right hand. The one bent to an angle looks like the block. I'm not sure what one at the top means.
But what would straight up be then?
For a lightsaber, which is what they have in the old one. You can throw the lightsaber and then put it back to you.
Yeah, I'm saying like lightsaber throw. But if it's curved, and there's like a little bit of texture around it, that makes far more sense for a thrown lightsaber that's at an angle. Why would a thrown lightsaber be straight up?
No, I'm saying the one at an angle.
But it's thrown. So
Yeah,
you
the
can
one at the angle is the one that's thrown.
Yeah, I reckon RB's throw. But then Y's block.
No.
You know? Don't really work, does it? I don't know what the little rebel sign is either. Unless that's just filling the empty spot.
That's filling the empty spot.
You think? Unless Jedi's have like a power move
Maybe.
that charges up.
Maybe.
I say it charges up, it would charge up here. Unless they've got a power move that comes once in a while, that'd be kind of cool.
Well, this is what we're all about, speculation. There you go.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I don't think they'd do it.
Okay. When it comes to the gameplay, I mean, when I'm looking at it, it's very, very reminiscent of Battlefront 2 with Hoth.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad about it. They kept it in the same idea. Because what I used to love about Battlefront was me and my mates used to go online. This is with the original Xbox as well.
I did not have online on the original Xbox.
I went around my neighbour's house. My parents couldn't afford it at the time.
I was going to say, I'd play split screen. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we went around the house, we'd play split screen and then online with people, and you used to get into the trenches, and you'd be shooting off loads of people that come around, and then eventually a giant ATAC would come up, you're just like, no, we're fucked. Something I was going to say earlier was, if I can remember, no, I can't remember, go on.
That's brilliant. This is Andy for you. Can't remember anything on the set.
Smart.
If we look at the rest of the Jedi's HUD there, you know, it's fairly like standard of everything else. You can see the objectives here on the minimap. Actually, the little white bits on the objectives there. The force push looks like it has like a recharge, something along those lines. The powers definitely look more powerful. I mean, like I don't remember being able to push like 3 people, and they die as well when he pushes them.
That's what I was going to say.
Brilliant. He's
I've done it.
found his memory.
So the health in... See, we were talking about healing,
His health degeneration.
Well, no, in Battlefront 2, your soldier didn't really... I mean, there were stations where you could heal yourself.
Yeah.
But generally, it was more of a... You were a cannon fodder, really. You'd go in there and you'd kill as many as you could before your health ran out. That was the general idea. I hope in this new one, and it seems like there will be, you can actually fight a more prolonged battle.
You say that. I and the other one used to get the medals. So if you killed a certain amount of people as a soldier in Battlefront, you get a better assault rifle.
Really?
Yeah. And
then
you can get another one on top of that.
Yeah.
I used to get them all the time. I didn't like playing as the hero.
Did you not?
I overdid. You know, you could do the Mos Eisley assault.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys remember that. Where you played as the Jedi, and you would just like have this awesome like Jedi battle. I did that like hundreds and hundreds of times when I found it, and then after that I was like, no, I prefer playing as a soldier. I played probably 400 hours or so of Battlefront 2. I'm mega awesome game. So my favourite thing to do was play the assault class. So when I say the assault class, like the guy that starts the automatic gun, like the automatic rifle. But I wouldn't like doing. I was really weird when I was a kid. It's like the rebel one looked weird to me. Yeah. So I didn't want to be the rebels. I'd be the Empire.
I like being the Empire.
Yeah, I'd be the Empire because they had like a little sturdy one.
Yeah.
But the clones was alright because they had like a long one.
Yeah.
That was alright. It's better than the droids for me. I didn't like the droids.
I played as the Empire in every aspect except for Hoth because I like the idea of defending. You really felt like you were defending on that map. That's why it's so famous.
And the slow speeders were cool as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What I was going to say as well is I can't remember which representative of EA said this recently. It was either Peter Moore or Jamie King, but they were saying that when you're playing as a hero, similar to the original game, you've got a certain amount of time. The average sort of time you're looking at playing as a hero or a villain is about 2 minutes, but with a sufficient amount of skill, you could maybe even work that up to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say. We'll talk about that in a minute. I've got that.
Okay, come.
Anyway, so we're going to move on to the mechanics of the game, which you can see here. The first one is that you can play the game in both first and third person.
Yes.
which is
cool.
cool.
That was in Battlefront 2.
Battlefield or Battlefront?
Battlefront.
I don't remember first person Battlefront.
You couldn't do it quickly. You had to go into the menu, select options, and only when you were single player, you could then switch to
I don't think I've ever played it in first person.
It was pretty cool.
I've had hundreds of hours in that game. I like the idea, but what I can say with a decent amount of confidence is that everybody's been playing in third person because... Hold on before you have it. If you remember GTA 5 on the Xbox One, you could do it both. That's cool. It's a really cool aspect. And playing in first person is really fun in single player.
Yep.
But if you play in third person online, you can see round cover. So you can see them, they can't see you if they're playing in first person.
Okay.
Significant advantage. And there is no advantage to first person.
Right, well, I would actually disagree. I think most people are going to play it in first person because you're right, round cover, you get that advantage. When you're looking at a big open field like this where you're going to be leaning over a trench anyway, maybe going... The only time that's advantageous is when you're going around a corner. What I'm saying here is I reckon that people are going to play in first person because the zoom is better, the quality of shooting is better. You can't compare it to GTA 5 because GTA 5 wasn't built to have shooting on first person. Bear in mind the game came first person came later.
Sure.
This is built with a Frostbite engine, with dice, it's first person.
What you're saying is that the majority of the time people aren't going to be peering around cover, right? But what you then do is if I'm playing third person and everybody else is playing first person, I'm just going to constantly cover.
Okay.
Right? And if they cover, they can only see me when they poke their head up. If I'm covering, I can wait for them to poke their head up and then like line up the shot, get them in the middle of my screen, jump up, bosh, fuck them up. You see what I mean? I will have an advantage.
See, what I would say is in this, because you're going to get people running over distances of snow, you'll be in a trench, first person, zooming down your scope at them. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
The thing with the Empire is most of their cover comes from the ATATs. So, around the bottom, fucking hell, I'm burpy tonight. Round the ATATs as they're moving forward, you're going to get a lot of soldiers around them. A lot of people who are using it for cover.
I'm going to be playing in third person, I reckon.
I'll be playing it first person and kicking your ass.
I doubt that.
Can't have me.
We once played Halo, right? And I beat him.
Dimes.
Was it like 30, 32? So I had like 30 kills, you had like 2.
Halo-
He was like, it prefers first person! Sorry for headphone people.
Halo-
He was like crying, throwing his controller. I was sitting there like, don't laugh,
Right, first of all, I
Jason.
was younger. Second of all, Halo is my strongest game ever. I smash people at Halo multiplayer. There's never a game of multiplayer that I can't beat people at better. I play against him, and also 2 noobs, by the way. This backs up my point more. Somehow, I'm not even joking, everything in the game wanted me to die. I was playing against Chris, a friend of ours. He's shit. I should have killed him. Everything was against me. I'm a solid Halo player. Fuck you. Don't give a shit. Battlefield. Battlefront. Fuck.
I'm having absolute trouble on what that. They're both battle for something. They're both made by DICE at this point, and I'm tripping up. I'm not gonna...
Snow one and non-snow one. Snow.
It's probably some sort of Battlefield. There you go, do it again. But when you're saying about the cover thing, like around the feet of the AT-AT, still third person, peering around corners, even when you're not against the corner, it still just gives you a better view of the situation. I think that's going to be slightly unbalanced. I imagine, I don't know, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, a lot of people are going to play it first person because people love an FPS.
Well, what we want is a quick switch. We want there to be a button so you can switch between first and third.
I imagine it will be. Yeah. Because there are situations where you're going to want a bit.
Well, if you're crossing long distances in an open area, you want first, in my opinion.
So you've got a better view. Yeah, that's the argument, is if your camera is behind someone and someone pops up with a trench, your person can block, you think your character can block your view.
Yep.
In which case you might want first person.
Yep.
That saves you get added peripheral vision when you're in third. So
It's true.
there's arguments anyway. We should move on before we sit here for half an hour. Yeah, the other thing I was going to talk about is the power-ups.
Okay, yeah.
So
I don't know much about this.
Yeah, so they appear on the right hand side where you get the things we're talking about, obviously the force push, the lightsabers thing. Where Luke's got the rebel sign, the power-ups appear there when you pick them up. See the demo guy picks up a rocket launcher, right?
Yeah.
He shoots down and blows up an AT-ST, like the baby walkers, because we've got different terms.
Yeah.
One hit, he like fucks it up with this rocket launcher. So very powerful power-ups. I think we've also seen that you can get an orbital strike. The guy
I've
throws a
seen the
grenade.
orbital strike, yep.
Yeah. In this game mode, the rebels have binars, so binoculars. I think that is to, once the uplink is enabled, to call them the Y-bombers.
Well, one thing that I'd want to see in this game is, and it wasn't something that Battlefront 2 really mastered, is I want the differences in teams, i.e. Empire and Rebels, to have advantages and disadvantages. So before, it didn't really matter who you were playing with, other than occasionally, I mean, when you were playing as the clones, they had one particular soldier who had an awesome rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Other than that...
And a minigun.
Yeah.
And that said, the droids had the droidicar.
The droidicar was insane. And that's what I mean, they're all relatively similar except for a few awesome people who you generally just stuck with. Whereas I wanted Battlefront, I want there to be advantages. So I want the Empire to have some clear technological advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Rebels to have some sort of advantage in either environment or what they can do to their environment. So I mean,
Sure.
playing the back leg. I want them to be the underdog in certain ways. So for example, they can take advantage of their environment by, I don't know, maybe they're better at hiding, maybe they're better at setting up, I don't know, maybe traps. Probably not traps, but you know what I'm trying to say. And the Empire should definitely have a technological advantage. I mean, they've already got bigger vehicles. Something along those lines. I want there to be a real difference where you've got to work using your advantages to win a game.
Like 80% of the time I see the Rebels, they're firing the blaster pistols.
Yeah, I think they're engineers.
Yeah.
You do see ones with assault rifles.
Yeah, there's the odd bit of assault rifle. There's a lot of blaster pistol about.
Yeah. You and me were talking about this earlier. In the right corner, bottom right corner, you can see the assault rifle from a Rebel. Absolutely on what I said earlier, it's definitely based off the STG 44 German assault rifle from World
It
War
looks like that without the magazine, doesn't it?
Yep, and the other one, the heavy machine gun's based off the MG42. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
People criticise that of DICE picking up weapons from their old games. In the actual movies,
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they realised that that's the guns they used in the first ever Star Wars.
Yeah,
films.
exactly. Yeah, I mean cheap props from leftover World War II
Yeah.
movies. Exactly, it's an easy way to go. Moving on, yeah. So if you look at Luke's Force abilities, I don't doubt that the rest of the hero classes are going to have different ones.
Yeah.
Like you see Darth Vader do a Force choke, but like what's that going to be swapped out of? Because all of them are going to have block.
It's possible that you can customise your heroes so that they have certain powers when you play as them.
That would be really cool.
That would be very cool. So you go into the menu, you can hopefully customise what your soldier has, and you can also customise when you turn into the hero. I know there's a game, I'm thinking of a game, but I can't think right now. When you turn into your badass hero, he's got different abilities. You can choose between choke, throwing lightsaber, lightning.
Yeah, what you'll keep in mind though is some are Sith and some are Jedi.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, so it depends.
Luke's not going to do choke. I never understood that.
No, you're right. Well, that's what they did in Battlefront as well. They had different powers depending on what person you were.
In my head, I thought Battlefront was Battlefield. I thought you were suggesting that in Battlefield
Shut
they had
up.
Force powers. I was like, no, you're right. I was
That's an Easter egg.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Battlefront 2, you could, obviously, if you were Luke Skywalker, you didn't have choke or lightning, stuff like that. Now, what I hope they've rebalanced is the choking. Because I don't know if anyone else ever used to play as Anakin or, like, evil. No, it was Darth Vader, I think, actually. You could choke, even if someone else was a hero. If you grabbed the choke button before they did anything, you've won. Because what you can do is you can choke them and then move closer to them, and when you're done choking, you hit with a lightsaber once.
You are vulnerable as shit when you're choking.
No, you're right, but in a hero versus hero game, which you used to be able to
One-on-one.
do, which looks like it's going to be something for the missions we'll mention later, you could choke them right up until you're right next to them and then finish them off. And it was really overpowered.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I agree with that. It was a lot of fun, that.
It was very
If you played with like 3 people, I used to play with 3 people. You have 2 next door neighbours. They were right.
Yeah.
They were just a moan that I wouldn't let them play my games. My games, go away. Yeah, so you'd start Force choking one, and the other one fucking come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck, though. Good fun. Yeah. So the other thing that they've got is they've got a little booster pack, little booster jetpack.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
Have you seen that?
I've only seen the Rebels use it so
Yeah.
far.
I'd imagine that the Empire has a similar thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't. Maybe it's more of that faction thing, like faction disputes.
Yeah.
Maybe the Empire has something else. Which would be cool, but I like the idea of having a little booster pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cover
I think
distances.
Well, I think, again, it'll be an item that's either based on what type of soldier you're playing, you know, like heavy equipment, sniper, something like that, or it will be something you unlock and add to your character, which would be very cool.
Yeah. I think it's like riding the Titanfall wave, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
Titanfall added that third dimension
Yeah.
in like the y-axis in gaming,
Yeah.
really, and now everybody
It's,
loves that. You know, and if you look at a COD
Yeah.
and you look at this,
I've just noticed something about the, you know, your map in the bottom left.
yeah,
It hasn't followed the route that Battlefield did, where your map was very detailed. It showed, when you were in a build, showed every building, every outline of everything on your mini map. This is now very like Master Chiefy. It shows a circular HUD. I would guess by the distance, probably about 25 meters, and it shows, you know, it's very basic,
yeah.
very very basic.
He's showing, if you guys look at the map there, there's one red dot. I would imagine the red dot is the one bloke shooting.
It's the A tower.
Yeah, no. That one, there's a single red dot on the thing. There's one guy shooting
Oh,
just
I see.
below the ATAT's back. What AT-AT's back left leg?
Yeah.
You guys see that? I imagine that is. So what's that like? 15 meters?
Oh,
Maybe more, 20 meters. So it could
Yeah.
be a 25 meter
that's
meter
what
map.
I'm thinking, yeah.
What you're saying about the detail on it, possibly on the other side of that. I mean, basically, we'll have a look at the. Have a look at the video. I mean, we haven't got it up here, but he is in an open like space thing anyway.
Yeah, you're right, but I can already tell that it's not like Battlefield, because even if you're in a big open area, it showed the outlines of different heights and stuff like that. It was quite
like contours.
detailed. Yeah, I'm not complaining at all. I mean, I like the system they have in Halo. Looks like a similar sort of map. I'm not complaining at all. It's going to be very clear cut. And it doesn't give away too much as well. So I like it.
Okay. Yeah, and the other thing I was going to say, so you're saying about the shield that you can wear. Yeah, so it looks like that's the only thing that can protect you from an orbital strike. You see it in the video?
I've seen the orbital
strike's coming in, pulls up a shield.
They take out heavy armour as well. I saw an AT-ST get absolutely fucked by one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
And the next thing we really want to talk about was the vehicles in the game. So we're just going to go with this picture here.
That's a cool picture.
Yeah, that's what I say. We're going to start. I know we've gone to the snow speeder, but we're going to talk about the AT-AT first. It has a lot of weapons. I think it was like 3 or 4 that they show you in the demo, all with different guns.
I think it shows you 3.
3, yeah, and probably a driver's seat as well. I imagine that you've got different operators for all of those weapons.
It shows you a lighter, faster flowing weapon.
It's like a blaster fire, then it shows you like a 60mm cannon.
It's like a heavy cannon, yeah, and then it shows you artillery. Auto strike. I see. Yeah, that is very cool. Very cool.
It has a similar system to the Heroes do, which they've taken from Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
So the health of the AT-AT is always deteriorating.
Yeah.
Right, constantly.
Well, unless it's not taking fire.
No, even if it's not taking fire, it's constantly deteriorating.
Okay.
Right, and the only way it can make its health back up is by killing.
That's
by killing anything else. Yeah, I was watching it curiously. That's not the same in the snow speeder, which should probably say out in the snow speed inspection, but still. Yeah, so the AT-AT does that, which is cool because the AT-AT is motherfucking overpowered.
Yep.
Right. That said, adding health regen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cool thing about them is that you could technically, if they were low on health and are still a distance away, you could starve them out.
In theory,
give them no kills and then run off.
You would have to, in order to get that far away from it, you would have to be giving up a lot of territory, which is the point. I think what you're going to have to do is stand your ground against it.
If you destroy both of them, you win.
You win. So it's not like in the last Hoth game where it regenerates.
No, this is Walker Assault. We'll cover this a bit more when we get into game modes, which are in here somewhere. Got my notes. So
but the aim of the Walkers is to get them to the Rebel base to destroy them.
Yeah, so the idea is the Walkers want to get to the Rebel base and destroy the stuff that the Rebels have there, not necessarily just the Rebels. The main weakness is obviously the snow speeder. I'm pretty sure other things can damage it as well.
Okay.
That's how it looks.
Sounds good.
It's not clear though, they don't show it. But you do show it. It does have lower health in some pictures, but I wonder whether that's just because of the deterioration.
Yeah, so you know for a fact it deteriorates?
Yes.
Okay.
It's watching the video. Then the next thing, we got the snow speeder. Obviously, as I said, it's got the normal health bar. And what you can see there above the normal health bar is a energy bar, which it uses for boosts and, I imagine, manoeuvring.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, which is quite cool. Also, it has blasters and it's got the grappling hook to attack the AT-AT. Then the next vehicle that we saw was the TIE Fighter.
Yes.
I imagine the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter are pretty much same thing, different skin.
X-Wing and the TIE Fighter?
Yeah.
What do you mean? They're entirely different vehicles.
Yeah, no, they are. What I'm saying is in the game.
Okay.
I imagine they're the same vehicle, different skin.
Yes.
Right? They've both got blaster cannons.
They're both one person with some sort of heavy, some sort of regular fire.
Yeah, exactly. They're very, very manoeuvrable. If you see them, they have a little dogfight between mountains.
Yeah, they went into a gulch, didn't they? Yeah, that looked really, really cool. I don't know how easy that will be for a player to do in the actual game. You know, obviously a lot of things appear very easy when they've made it for that game. It's a showcase. Don't know how easy it's going to be to manoeuvre because they're moving quick as shit. I mean, obviously the Hoth Fighter is different because hopefully, I haven't actually seen the evidence for this yet. Hopefully, you can have a bloke in the back like you classically could.
Oh, in the snow speeder.
Yeah, and they could fire a rope again that could tie around the ATATs. That's always been a thing.
If you look at the HUD here, if you look at the bottom right again, where the soldiers had the cards, you've got a boost there, which I imagine LB is a boost. That looks like a boost to me. It's got 2 triangles pointing upwards, and then you've got RB, which is the little. You see that? It's like sort of like a Wi-Fi signal in a way. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I've no idea what that is.
Wi-Fi signal.
It's a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
It looks like a radio beacon or broadcast
or like a radar or something. Yeah.
Oh, it could be radar. That's a good shout.
What radar? Why would you need radar if you're?
That's a very good point. I have no idea on that one.
Yeah, me neither. It doesn't look like there's a grappling hook option, but as you fly past, it said something very quickly. I can't remember what it said.
Okay.
I think that was the option to fire the grappling hook. I think rather than you switching into the back, which you used to have to do, fire the grappling hook and jump back in the front.
What are you flying in here? A Hoth Fire?
It's called snow speeders.
Yeah, but Hoth Fire, same thing.
That's not what I've heard. Yeah, this is a snow speeder.
Okay.
Rather than hop in the back, jump in the front. I imagine there's either like a thing for you to do it if there's no one in your back seat, or you have a bloke in the backseat. I like you to have a bloke in the backseat, but there's no evidence
so you
of
can
that.
tie the rope around it again.
Absolutely.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah, so then we want to talk about hero classes. So we go back to our Luke Skywalker picture, recycling, obviously.
Yeah.
So far I've only seen Darth Vader and Luke. What other heroes do you reckon we're going to have?
Okay, well, based on the times, because there's no evidence that it's going to be based before the 4, 5 and 6 films.
Yeah, it's got to be between 5 and 6 from what you're saying.
Yes, so that makes it... the issue is that limits it by a lot of characters. I think that we'll be hopefully seeing Boba Fett again, which would be interesting, nice little mix. I'm trying to think, it's difficult. You probably get the Emperor, you had him last time. Maybe Yoda, but by the point of the 4, 5 and 6 films, he's pretty old, he's like 900, so...
Yeah.
He's getting on a bit.
Yeah,
he's
fair.
getting on a bit.
Still probably...
They could add new heroes, but that's not what we want.
You say that, but he's only 30 years older than he was in movies 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah,
And in movies, in the second movie, I appreciate a lot of people are like, oh no, movies 1, 2 and 3 was shit. Third one was great, so shut up. I love the third one.
I love all the... Yeah.
Do you like the first one?
Well, one was a little bit...
Yeah.
Well, got off to a rocky start, but...
Yeah, second one was alright, I like the one was.
Liam Neeson saved it for the first one, really.
And it's Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
I like Samuel L. Jackson's second one.
It's bad.
I was watching an interview with Samuel L. Jackson on the Graham Norton show, because we're English, obviously. And he was saying, he said to George Lucas, I'll be in it, but you have to give me a pink lightsaber.
A pink one?
No, purple, sorry.
Purple,
That's why it's got a purple one. And George Lucas was like, why? He goes, see in the script where there's this massive fight in the pit.
Yeah.
He goes, I want to be able to see which one I am.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
I'll point it out. And George Lucas was like, sure.
That's awesome.
And so Graham Norton awarded him this like purple lightsaber, and he said to this woman, he was like, you can have it. She was like, really? He was like, yeah, I've got my one at home.
That's awesome.
And she was like, really? He goes, yeah, it's got badass motherfucker written on it.
Jesus.
Like, yeah. Which was his guy's wallet in Pulp Fiction is BAMF, isn't it? Yeah.
And then there's snakes on a plane.
Does he say badass motherfucker in that as well?
No, it's just he's been in those films and then he's been in Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, you know.
Which we briefly...
Oh, I think most people have done a shit movie.
It's true. But, yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what heroes... I mean, the issue is the vast majority of lightsaber-wielding heroes you see in the Star Wars saga are in the first, second and third, so as in the new films.
There are a lot more Jedis in the new
which
films,
is why I'm wondering who the heroes are going to be. Are they going to be limited to a relatively small amount? I mean, a couple of the Jedis that were in it are, they're relatively old. I mean, you've got Obi-Wan Kenobi pretty much ready to collapse, and you've got Yoda who's not far behind.
I haven't read the Star Wars books, right? But I imagine that there are a lot more heroes in the books. But the whole idea with the films is that if you haven't got the special effects, etc., and basically, I don't know, just going off a little topic here. You ever watched the old James Bond movies?
A couple.
Yeah. If the old fight scenes are not fight scenes, they're like karate chop, and the guy drops down.
Yeah, you grab one bloke, hit him like that,
and he goes
elbow
down.
one, yeah.
Yeah, well, even if that, you know,
it's
right?
really,
Because the way that they filmed things back then, the camera angles that they had, their technology for getting in without disrupting the scene was limited.
Yeah.
Right? So they kept everything basic. So you didn't really even have... You had a really cool lightsaber fight between Luke and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I mean, lightsabers get rid of that whole... You have to be close to see all the cool bits because you've got these lights flashing around, which looks epic. But to actually get close in and get really interesting fights, you needed that technology.
Okay.
That's probably why they didn't have them. If you actually play some of the other games, I know that there's definitely a shit ton of other Sith.
Right, I appreciate that. But people who are playing Battlefront, they know the Battlefront is closely linked to the story in terms of the film. So people are going to want to see characters that come back into it. I don't know what they're going to do. They could even add characters from the Force Awakens, but I'm not too sure.
But that's the game.
No, the Force...
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to kill you. The Force Awakens is the film, Force Unleashed game.
We had this cock-up earlier on. If you haven't seen it, there's a beta video talking about the beta that comes out on October 8th. Same thing.
Yeah.
Regardless. Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... We can see the Force abilities. We've already talked about that, and how undoubtedly everybody else does. But I reckon it's allocated similarly to how it is in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Right. So in Star Wars Battlefront 2, after a certain amount of time, they'd offer out the hero class. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah. And so
you want to be the hero.
Quickly. Yeah, I do.
Well, no. It'd be offered to the best player in the team. First.
Okay.
And if he said no, then it would go to the second best, and then the third.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. I remember when I was playing with my neighbours, it was always offered to me first, and they loved it because I liked playing the assault rifle.
I'm not too bothered about playing as a hero.
Oh yeah, me neither. It definitely adds something to the game, but if you're playing as a soldier, and a hero comes up, you're like, hide in the corner.
Something that we haven't actually mentioned is the fact that in the very last you see the gameplay footage, you see Anakin and Darth Vader entering in what seems to be some sort of battle phase.
I think it leaves engine.
You think it leaves engine?
If you
No, I don't. I think that it stays on engine. I think that you get into a battle which requires you to hit buttons as quickly as possible against each other. It turns into a proper competition of your control schemes.
If you have a quick time event between two people, it's very hard to do because there's a certain latency with the server.
Okay.
So say I have a latency of, let's be nice here, let's have a good one. Let's say I've got a latency of 10 milliseconds, right?
Okay.
And let's say you've got a standard latency of like 40, 50 milliseconds, right? That's not a great, it's all right? I'm going to kick the shit out of you because reaction time is 40 milliseconds.
Right.
So I can see mine, I can have my 40 millisecond reaction time, and then hit, and then you haven't even seen it.
It was a nice thought.
Yeah, it would be
It
cool.
was a nice thought.
But I think that would be an engine. Unless it's along the lines of, I don't know if you, it won't be, but have you guys seen For Honoured? That's what we do. Have you guys seen For Honoured? I'm really excited about that.
I'm very excited.
It's sword fighting. Have a look. We're undoubtedly going to do a video.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a short one, but because there's not a lot we know so far. It's coming out to another.
But stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. It looks sexy as shit. Yeah, so they talk about that a lot there.
Yeah.
About how you basically you have to do all the different angles in sword fighting. It makes the sword fighting a lot more skillful rather than just fucking button mashing it.
Yeah.
You know, button mashing will not work in that game because there's different angles of attack set by the right stick, I believe. I think that's kind of what they were saying.
It's very, very precise on where you swing the sword.
So different angles of attack and different angles of block. So to match a block, so to match an attack, so block an attack, you have to be doing it in the right direction. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're blocking, it's realistic because to block a blow that's come from above, you have to lift your sword up there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you lift your sword up there and someone comes below you, you're fucked.
That's true.
So you have to sort of like do it properly.
That's cool.
It looks good.
I wonder if it'll be the same with this. That'll be very interesting.
That would be cool. I doubt it.
I'm not sure.
I highly doubt it.
I
Because
would love that, to be honest.
This guy was all like, this is the first thing that's ever done this.
Yeah.
No one else has ever done anything like that.
True.
And so I was Battlefront, I'm going to be like, right. That's the main focus of this guy's game. He's put a lot of fucking effort into it.
True.
Right? So yeah, I doubt they correspond like that.
No, it's true.
I imagine that lightsaber fighting will have blocking and attacking. So, which is cool.
Yeah, I hope there's more structure in it than there used to be the last one, but I'm not hopeful. But again, I would really like to see some sort of way that you can be pitted against each other. Then obviously there's also soldiers around that are shooting you, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it could be basic, but at the end of the day, we love Battlefront for what it is. So
Agreed.
yeah.
So we'll move on to the game modes.
Sounds good to me.
So there have been 3 that were outlined. We did them briefly in the beta video. If you guys come and hear from there, if not, go back check what we said. But the first one, which you can see right now, and all the pictures here are from. Well, go back to this picture for that. Well, actually no, I'll go to this one. Is Walker Assault.
Yes.
Right. So 20 versus 20. Okay. Rebels versus Empire.
Yeah.
The Empire's goal is to get the AT-ATs back to the Rebels' defences and destroy the Rebels' defences. That's how they win. That's their endgame. The Rebels' endgame is to destroy the AT-ATs.
Yes.
Right. The way that they need to do that, I wonder if they can do it in different ways.
Okay.
But their primary way to do that is there a little, if you look at the HUD right here, on the right hand side, just above the thing we keep on talking about, with force push, lightsabers, everything like that, there's a little satellite objective. They activate those and they secure an uplink to the Y-bombers, right?
Okay.
Y-bombers come along, blow up the AT-AT.
That's cool.
Okay? So it's kind of like a control thing in a way. They have to control it for a certain amount of time.
That's cool.
I imagine that there are 2 AT-ATs as there's 2 different objectives for the activation.
There's traditionally 2 AT-ATs, so
Yeah.
but there could be more because obviously now it's there's going to be a lot more fighting coming on the AT-ATs.
I think there'll be 2 purely because there's 2 uplinks.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm just suggesting there could be more, but I'm also thinking that this is now going to be a lot more. Whereas before the battle was happening over a wider space, this is now going to be. You're going to have a lot of Imperial soldiers around the bottom of those ATATs protecting them. You're going to have a lot of people thinking we've got to protect that ATAT.
You say that, but if the people don't protect the uplink, then they're fucked. If the uplink gets achieved, then the ATAT gets destroyed, full stop.
Okay, that's fair enough. But you don't want someone. So, for example, you don't want people at the bottom of the ATAT 'cause it's not very manoeuvrable. People at the bottom firing rockets up at it, calling in airstrikes. You're going to want Imperial soldiers going in that.
Yeah, sure, like a tank in real life. You need boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
It does look like there are a few people around. Honestly, we can't use how people are playing this game, how the game is going to be played, because they're playing.
They've structured it to make it look like.
to make it look awesome. Yeah, that's what they've done.
Not that it won't be awesome.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing the shit out of that beta when it comes out.
Smash his back doors in.
Yeah, I've got to agree. Yeah, it's obviously the one that's shown in the multiplayer trailer. Again, we're unclear whether or not you can blow up the AT-ATs on their own without the Well, actually, no. That said,
I think they can take
they
damage.
must be able to, because the Y bomber
Yep.
can destroy them.
Yep.
As can the snow speeder.
Yes, and also here's another thing. You see all these defensive turrets around loads of trenches, stuff like that. All of that would seem a little bit like it's just been thrown in there unless you could truly defend against the ATATs. I really, really think that there's going to be a...
I think that those turrets are going to do fuck all against the ATAT.
Right?
Yeah, I imagine.
Did you ever use the turrets in Battlefront?
They do a shitload of damage to the ATATs in there.
Yeah.
I say shit.
Well, not shit.
Enough.
It took grinding.
Yeah.
It took grinding.
But what I'm saying is, they don't want you to be able to destroy it with just random things that are destroyed about the place.
I think that the idea is with enough punishment. I think the idea is, yes, you can hold the uplinks as well and do some damage to it that way. But the primary thing is that it's going to be you're going to have to be defending the base. It's not about holding those uplinks, defending the base. And you've got to be in your turrets, defensive, in the trenches. That's what Hoth was always about, getting in the trenches, defending the points. I hope they have some sort of conquest system for this map as well, because I liked it when you had to control all the points to win. I hope they keep that, but for now, with this system, really, really still hope I hope that they keep it in tune with the idea that you defend each point.
Yeah. I just have a flashback while we're talking about this, looking at those turrets. Every time I used to play this game, whenever I'd walk past those turrets, I'd destroy them.
Really? What, if you're on the Empire
If
team?
I was on the Empire team.
Yeah.
No, regardless, because people just jumping.
Yeah, but they're useful.
Right, don't get me wrong, they're useful. I'm good in one of those turrets.
Yep.
I'm better on the feet as a soldier with an assault rifle.
No, I disagree.
Those turrets fuck me all
Really?
the time. Yeah, because I wasn't really a trench guy.
Oh, I loved it.
The trenches were alright, but I just destroy it because it's only going to get in my way. If you leave it about, if you go running about, one fucking AI is going to jump in it. You know, look at that cunt over there running on the ridge.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot him down.
But
and
now
it's fucked.
online. You can have, say, the base. You can have a load of trenches around coordinated, firing a hellstorm at that motherfucker.
Yeah,
I was lighting it up.
I was just thinking about that. If you had everybody in one of those turrets,
I just imagine, say, if you're with all your mates playing online, you see an AT in the distance, and you literally just shout, "Light it up!" and everyone just letting rip.
yeah, if that does significant damage, it'd be cool.
That'd be
What would be cool is be using them as anti-air guns to shoot down TIE fighters.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking that a role the TIE fighters will be playing is to destroy defences before they can start shooting at the AT.
Yeah, they've got the maneuverability to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next game mode is Drop Zone, which we know little
I don't really know
to
much
nothing about.
This is something about defending drop pods.
So it's 8 versus 8. It's a control style mode. So from what I can gather, and a couple of lines of text in the game is escape pods will drop onto the map.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're escape pods. I don't know why we want to control escape pods that are on the middle of the ground. That doesn't make much sense to me. Yeah, so they're drops onto the map, and then you want to control them against the
Other
Empire.
people, yeah.
Or whatever. It's 8 versus 8.
All the pawns in them.
All the pawns. I thought you said the pawns like in chess. I was like,
Nah, all the pawns in the drop pods.
it's a lot. I went straight to chess. It's been impressed in it. And yet not representative of my life at all.
Nah,
Regardless, moving on, we don't know too much about them. Then you've got the survival missions, which I'm really looking forward to, like a solid horde mode.
yeah, well, we'll go in, obviously, with the survival missions. We'll go into those in more detail when we talk about missions and their relation to story mode in the next podcast. But survival is going to be one of those missions. Obviously, we'll cover it we'll cover it more in the next video, which you can see.
It's got a lot of story.
Yeah, but it's going to be cool. I think I like the idea of a survival mode. It's become very popular over the last sort of 10 years. I mean, I wouldn't say that it was Gears of War that started the horde mode, but they would definitely have pioneered.
Who else did one?
Well, there are games before where you have to hold off against rampaging amounts of something.
It's never been like a game mode.
No, that's what I mean. Horde brought it into the modern.
That's why it's probably why it's called Horde.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Gears of War.
And it's definitely something that's become really popular in loads of games. Halo, Call of Duty with the zombies.
Yeah, I think if you're going to compare to my chair's like broken. That's weird.
Your chair's broken.
Yeah, look at the top of it there. Just to bring this thing. I'll fix that out. I don't know. I imagine it was just tight up like that. I was like falling through it. When you weigh 100 kilograms, it's quite easy to fall through a chair.
120.
120. 120?
Yeah.
Is that you?
He likes chicken.
I was going to say. You had like 5, so I don't know what
It's
you
true.
like that. 120.
Muscles.
It's muscle. It's muscle.
All
120 muscle. Right, that's not 120 anyway. But fucking off with it, right? Back to topic. It reminds me of Firefight, the survival game mode.
Yep.
Which we don't have any pictures of here.
No, but
we'll show them the story.
Yeah.
What you can see is it's got a certain amount of waves. You've got a certain amount of lives in those waves, and it tells you how many enemies you've got left. You've just got to kill all the enemies in that wave, survive the next one. I imagine you can earn extra lives.
Well, I've done a bit of research into it, and we'll talk about it on the mission thing, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, brilliant. Right. Yeah. That's all we know about Star Wars Battlefront on the gameplay stuff. Come and join us next time for the story.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
See you later, guys.
Yeah. Check out the beta.